Okay, so this is a hot take, but the vast majority of firearms training classes are just a waste of fucking money. I hate to talk shit about an entire industry, especially an industry full of people that I like, but the thing that you ought to get right here, right now, is that you and some old man from down the street could probably figure out how to get you to shoot better and be more combat effective. Spending a few hours fucking around and shooting at a range and actually getting coaching than by going and paying hundreds of dollars to some tactical idiot. What do you need to know how to do? Like, a lot of people like to go and take cool guy classes. The vast majority of gun classes, in my opinion, are cool by association. You're paying $500 to go hang out with someone you think is cool. Congratulations. You're a fucking 13-year-old girl. Now that we've established that, why don't you go see a fucking boy band while you're at it? It's not the way. What I mean by the way, like in the fucking Mandalorian, this is the way, whatever. Like, this is our new fucking religion. This weapon is your life. It's how you should be. Your study and mastery of it should never end, and a $500 class isn't going to make a heap and hoot and hell fucking difference. Okay? You need basic marksmanship to start out with, and you need a bunch of other shit that nobody's fucking teaching you. Go to a fucking Appleseed match. You need to be a useful human being and rifleman before you worry about any of the shit that the cool guy people are teaching. If you can't just fucking pick up a fucking rifle and hit a target, okay, you've got other issues. You don't need to know how to use night vision. You don't need to know how to use X, Y, or Z. There's so many people that go to these classes. I know because I used to teach them. Not gonna get too into that, but like, I've been the range monkey to people that you would fucking be like, holy shit, you used to hang out with that dude? Yeah. My mom used to fucking have phone sex with Steve Fisher at one point. That was weird. Literally, I had posters of fucking Steve Fisher or whatever and Costa on my walls, and like, one of them was banging my mom, I think. Yeah. I don't know, I still think that was funny. She met him on Instagram thanks to me. It's my fault. I'm mostly self-taught. I hung out with a bunch of people. And the thing you should get and you should go and do is find people that know what you want to know about. Hang out with them and learn from them. And like all of these videos from people on YouTube, watch and compare. Don't take anything from any one person. I personally think you guys should take a lot of shit from me because I sit here on my own and fucking figure shit out. And we're in a world of people right now that just pay money to go learn something. And I'm telling you, it's not the fucking same. Paying $500 and going and taking a class from me or anyone else does not attain you mastery. That's not the point of it. And most of the people doing those classes would not tell you that that is the point of it. However, the vast majority of people going to those fucking classes believe this. They're paying to get, the best person on earth to teach them to shoot because now they'll be a fucking samurai. The thing you ought to get is there's nothing anyone can teach you that's going to do that. Like, short of, like what James Yeager used to do. Like, but his whole thing was fucking, like, mindset and whatever, right? Like, say what you will about him. But, like, I learned more from that motherfucker on the internet than almost any other motherfucker on the internet. And he was the only place I ever heard anything like what my grandfather taught me. Like, this is half of the thing, is I was taught to fight with a gun from a very early age by Marines. And then spent my entire life being obsessed with shooting guns and playing Army and fucking Vietnam reenacting in college, because basically it was something fun to do, and I was getting into Nam guns and shit, and these guys were all doing the exact same fucking thing and developing web gear and shit to go fucking bust caps and shoot guns in the hills. That was just cool. I'm not saying that is a valid, like, way to train necessarily, but, like, doing that is more training than anything that you've ever fucking paid money for. Pay $500 and go do something for a weekend when you and your buddies could fucking go just buy some Vietnam equipment and go run a fucking LERP in the hills. Okay? Figure out what you did wrong. Do it again. Get me? Like, this is the thing that makes you better, is that. It's not training. Training teaches you how to do that better. It's the practice that makes it. If you don't do the fucking practice and the reps, the training doesn't fucking matter. The training and the reps and practice is more fucking important. Sorry, the practice and the reps is more important than the fucking training in the first place. I'd rather you have practiced something wrong 80 million times than practice something right 3 times. Maybe the something wrong will get you through. Who fucking knows? Who am I to judge? Maybe shooting with the sights backwards will pay off. It's better than not fucking practicing. And this is the thing that I see from most of the tactical community, is these people don't dry fire their guns more than likely. Oh, you can't wear out the firing pins. Woohoo! The whole fucking gun community is full of turds. And the fucking gun training community is extra full of turds. And the reason I say this is because most of it's full of fucking competition shooters. And I'm not saying they aren't skilled. I'm not saying that isn't a fun game. All I'm saying is it's not combat, and they act like they know everything. Literally, most of what they do is not applicable to what I'm interested in. It's just not. If you go look at, like, some of the stuff that, like, In-Range TV and Sinestro Riflemen do in Arizona, that's probably more useful, but that's not most competition shooting. And even those are full of problems. Basically, any match environment starts sucking the fun out of this real quick because of how stupid your average fucking person is. If we have a society that's been organized to keep the stupid people alive, it means that fucking gun training events need to have a kindergarten section. If you really want to get good with a gun, my advice to you is to shoot more. Hot take. My advice to you also is to dry fire a lot. And this is where really you're going to need like some base level programming that's pretty fucking good. I don't know where you're going to get that if you don't have a good grandpa. Like I said, Appleseed matches or at least teaching you basic marksmanship and shit. And again, a lot of these tactical classes that I've seen, they are either teaching an intro class and charging you $500, or they're charging you $500 and they're skipping over a bunch of shit that you need to know before you learn other shit. And not everyone shows up at the class at the same level, which means that all of the fucking $500 intro classes, you're just paying money to go get taught basic marksmanship. That's my opinion. Again, I will say this depends on where you go. I'm also going to add that in my entire life, I have paid for a training course all of 3 times, I think. Maybe twice. All the rest was free shit. Okay? And going and finding training things like those dudes doing Vietnam reenacting. Like, I know they're fucking nerds. I know they're fucking whatever, but like, you need to get over yourself a little bit and get that, like, the history nerds know shit that you need to know. You need to get that, like, all of the nerds know shit that you need to know. Go learn what you need to know from the nerds. You know, they'll teach you better. That's, you know, just quite frank. That's what's going on here on YouTube, is that we have a community of gun nerds that just all fucking experiment and play around and do their own shit. Take training classes and talk to each other and go and circle jerk each other for a while too in some areas of it. But one of the things I liked about Matt and the boys was that we agreed on this training shit. It's that, yes, you should get some training, but at the same time, if you go and pay $500 to take a fucking class every other weekend, I think you're an idiot. I wouldn't do that once. Okay? I'm at a point in my life now where I would maybe be interested in talking to some of these more experienced people, and I would be willing to pay $500 for some of their classes. But you should get that it took 32 years to get to a point to where I thought I might spend $500 on a class. That sink in. You know, I've had a rifle in my hand since I was 7 years old, and I strive for mastery still. So it makes me different than you. It's a task that I will never be finished with. You know, this is like some samurai philosophy bullshit folded into the modern era and applied to guns. And like, again, this is why I like James Yeager a little bit. Like, in life, I thought he was a jackass. In death, I admire him because he fucking like stayed angry to the end. And also, like, legitimately, I think his training is probably better than most. That's, having seen quite a bit of his and seen quite a bit of other people's. I'm not saying that he's the only one that does shit good or whatever, but like, to a large extent, he got things in the way and other people didn't. Like, at a certain point, this gets dangerous. You're dealing with a fucking deadly thing. If you're not up for that, maybe you should go home. Guessing that's the postman. Well, I better go get that. This has been 15 minutes of this, and I think you guys got the point. Don't pay $500 for a training class. Spend $500 on ammo and teach yourself. See you later.